you've been rejected. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it's happening right now. That sinking feeling in your stomach, that heat in your face, that voice saying you're not enough. I get it. Here's what nobody tells you about rejection. Scientists discovered your brain literally can't tell the difference between getting rejected and getting physically hurt. That's why we say rejection hurts, because it actually does. There's an evolutionary reason for this, and understanding it changes how you handle rejection forever. But here's the plot twist that flips the entire script. The people who succeed most in life aren't the ones who avoid rejection. They're the ones who collect rejections like trophies. They understand something most people miss. Rejection isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. Let me show you how to flip the script on rejection, starting with a truth that will blow your mind. Chapter 1. The Rejection Paradox. Your brain is playing a 200,000-year-old prank on you. Back when we lived in tribes of 50 people, rejection literally meant death. Get kicked out of the group? Good luck surviving alone in the wilderness. So evolution wired us to feel rejection, like physical pain, to keep us from doing things that would get us exiled. It was actually brilliant design, for a world that no longer exists. Fast forward to today. When someone doesn't text back, your ancient brain thinks you're about to perish alone in the wilderness. When you don't get the job, your nervous system reacts like you've been banished from the tribe. No wonder we check our phones 47 times waiting for that response. We're not crazy. We're just running outdated software. The paradox is this. The rejection sensitivity that kept our ancestors alive is now making us miserable over things that can't actually hurt us. You're not going to die because someone swiped left. That job interview won't determine your survival. But your brain hasn't gotten the memo. So what do we do with this outdated alarm system? First, we need to understand what rejection really is, and what it definitely isn't. Chapter 2. The Rejection Reality Check. Here's what blew my mind when I learned it. Rejection isn't actually about you. I know. Sounds like self-help nonsense. But hear me out. Think about it. When was the last time you rejected something? Maybe you said no to a restaurant because you weren't in the mood for Thai food. Did that mean Thai food is worthless? Or that all Thai restaurants should close? Of course not. It meant you wanted pizza that day. Your rejection was about your current state, not their inherent value. This is how most rejection works. It's not a judgment on your worth. It's a statement about fit, timing, or preference at that specific moment. When someone rejects you, they're working with incomplete information. They know maybe 5% of who you are. They're making a decision based on their current needs, past experiences, and immediate circumstances, most of which have nothing to do with you. Once you really get this, rejection stops feeling like a verdict and starts feeling like data. Useful, neutral, improvable data. Chapter 3. The Success Secret. Want to know the dirty secret of success? The most successful people in history got rejected way more than you. Not slightly more. Way more. Like, embarrassingly more. Colonel Sanders pitched his chicken recipe 1,009 times before getting a yes. 1,009 times. The Beatles were told guitar groups are on the way out. Publishers rejected Harry Potter 12 times. 12 different professionals looked at Harry Potter and said, nah. Stephen King threw Carrie in the trash after 30 rejections. His wife had to pull it out and make him try again. See the pattern? It's not that successful people are lucky. It's that they keep going when everyone else quits. These people didn't succeed despite rejection. They succeeded because of how they handled rejection. While most people get rejected once and quit, successful people treat rejection like a numbers game. They know every no gets them closer to a yes, not because of luck or karma, but because each rejection teaches them something. But here's the real secret. They don't just endure rejection. They mine it for information. Chapter 4. The Rejection Reframe. Let me teach you the most powerful reframe I've ever learned. Rejection is not evaluation. Rejection is information, and information is power. When you don't get the job, you haven't learned you're unemployable. You've learned what that specific company wanted at that specific time. Maybe they needed someone with more experience, or maybe the CEO's nephew needed a job. When someone doesn't text back, you haven't discovered you're unlovable. You've identified incompatible communication styles, or maybe they're going through something that has nothing to do with you. When your idea gets shot down, it doesn't mean you're not creative. It means that audience wasn't ready for that concept yet. This isn't feel-good fluff. This is strategic thinking, the same thinking that built every successful company and career. Every rejection contains valuable data. What specifically didn't work? Was it timing, presentation, audience mismatch? What can you adjust for next time? Sometimes the data simply says wrong place, wrong time. And that's valuable too, because it saves you from wasting energy on dead ends. Chapter 5. The Ancient Wisdom. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics figured out something we're still struggling with. They had this concept. That changed how I handle rejection forever. And it's stupidly simple. They divided everything into two categories: things you control and things you don't. That's it. 2 buckets for everything in life. You control your effort, preparation, and response. How hard you work, how well you prepare, how you react to outcomes. You don't control their decision, timing, or preferences. What they think when they decide what they want. When you try to control what you can't, like forcing someone to text you back, you create suffering. It's like trying to control the weather by yelling at clouds. But when you focus only on what you control, like becoming the kind of person worth responding to, you create progress. And progress feels better than control anyway. The Stoics took this so seriously. They actually practiced getting rejected. They'd wear ridiculous clothes, make unreasonable requests. Not to be weird, but to prove rejection couldn't break them. Want to level up your people skills? Join our YouTube membership for early access to scripts, input on future topics, and connection with a community that gets the social struggle. Click join below, and let's master human interaction together. Chapter 6. The Attachment Trap. Here's where most of us go wrong with rejection. We get attached to specific outcomes, and attachment is the root of all suffering. You don't just want a job. You want this job, the one you've already decorated your imaginary office in. You don't just want a relationship. You want this person, the one you've already planned your future with. This attachment is what makes rejection devastating, because you've convinced yourself there's only one path to happiness. One job, one person, one opportunity. But that's never true. Here's what I've learned the hard way. The things we desperately cling to are rarely as unique as we think. That perfect job? There are hundreds like it. Maybe thousands. That soulmate who rejected you? There are millions of people you could connect with deeply. You just can't see them while you're fixated on one. The key is caring without clinging, wanting without needing, pursuing without desperation. Because here's the weird thing. When you hold opportunities lightly, you become more attractive to receive them. Chapter 7. The Inner Game. After every rejection, your brain writes a story. And 99% of the time, that story is complete fiction. They rejected me because I'm not good enough. Really? They calculated your entire worth in one interaction. Everyone will always reject me. Based on your sample size of this one rejection? These stories feel true because they're painful. But pain doesn't equal truth. Here's what actually helps. Write down the story your brain is telling. Then ask, is this literally, factually true? But here's what makes it worse. We don't just believe these stories. We become our own worst critic. Someone doesn't text back, and we spend 3 days telling ourselves we're worthless. They said no once. We say no to ourselves 1,000 times. Imagine if your friend got rejected. Would you list all their flaws? Of course not. So why do we talk to ourselves that way? Self-compassion isn't weakness. It's strategy. People who are kind to themselves after rejection take bigger risks because they know they'll have their own back. Next time rejection hits, challenge the story and be kind to yourself. Truth and compassion together. That's the inner game that transforms how you handle rejection forever. Chapter 8. Reading the room. Want to know a secret? You can usually see rejection coming before it arrives. People broadcast their intentions constantly, through their body, their energy, their attention. Most of us just don't know how to read the signals. The classic rejection tells, feet pointed toward the exit, like they're already planning their getaway. Arms crossed like a fortress, building walls before you even speak. Those fake smiles that never reach the eyes. You know the ones. All teeth, no soul. One-word responses, constantly checking their phone. That slight lean back when you lean in. Like you're contagious. But here's the twist. Sometimes these signals mean nervousness, not disinterest. Sometimes people reject themselves before you even get the chance. They're not rejecting you, they're protecting themselves. The real power move? Check your own signals first. Are you broadcasting desperation? Neediness? Fear? Sometimes we're rejecting ourselves with our energy, and then blaming them for noticing. Chapter 9. The Rejection Challenge. What if I told you to get rejected on purpose? Not eventually. Today. Within the next hour, go ask for something you know they'll say no to. This is what Jia Zhang did for 100 days straight. Asked for Olympic donuts at Krispy Kreme. Requested burger refills at restaurants. Tried to give Starbucks announcements over their intercom. Asked to play soccer in strangers' backyards. The first week was torture. He wanted to quit every day. But something unexpected happened around day 15. Rejection stopped feeling like death. It started feeling like a game. By day 30, he discovered something mind-blowing. People said yes to the craziest requests. Way more than he expected. Because most people actually want to help. We just assume they'll say no. The lesson? We're so afraid of rejection, we reject ourselves first. We don't even give people the chance to say yes. Start small. Ask for a discount at the coffee shop. Request an upgrade you don't expect. Apply for that job you think you're not qualified for. Chapter 10. Your action plan. Knowing about rejection and living it are two different things. So here's your game plan. Your Rejection Resilience Training Program. First, start a rejection collection. Not a pity party. A data log. Track what you asked for, what happened, what you learned. Treat it like a scientist studying human behavior. Because that's exactly what you're doing. Second, set rejection goals. I'll collect 10 rejections this month. Make rejection the goal, not the enemy. When rejection becomes the goal, you've already won by trying. Third, find your rejection buddies. People who celebrate your attempts, not just your wins. Share your rejections like war stories. Compare notes, laugh about them, learn together. Fourth, implement the 24-hour rule. When rejection hits, wait a full day before responding. Let the sting fade before you make decisions. Your 3 a.m. reaction is never your best move. Most importantly, remember that every single person you admire has been rejected more than you can imagine. They just didn't let it stop them. And now neither will you. So here's what we've discovered. Rejection feels like death because your ancient brain can't tell the difference. But in today's world, rejection is just information. Valuable, neutral, actionable information. The most successful people aren't immune to rejection. They're just experienced at processing it. They've trained themselves to see it differently. They've learned to extract data instead of drama, to see no as navigation, not condemnation, to treat rejection as feedback, not failure. You now have everything you need: the understanding, the strategies, the mindset shifts. You're equipped for a different relationship with rejection. All that's left is practice. Start small. Get rejected once this week on purpose. Feel the sting, apply what you've learned, notice you survived. Because life's too short to let fear of rejection keep you from what you want. So go get rejected. Get rejected boldly, learn quickly, and keep moving. Your dreams are waiting on the other side of your fear. Learn something new? Hit that like button, share it with others, tap subscribe, and stick around for more. Got thoughts? I'd love to hear them in the comments.